I'd like to congratulate Jérémy Bouchard, who won 4 gold medals and a bronze medal in short athletes to have an amazing experience they'll never forget. Thank you. I'd like to apologize to the member for Repentigny. I skipped over her. The honorable member. Since 1992, we celebrate World Water Day on March 22nd. Canada has 20% of the globe's freshwater supplies, but 2.2 billion people do not have drinking water. Despite the fact that we have a responsibility, given that fact, Canada has not shown good governance of this essential natural resource. It is refusing to do anything about Chalk River and its radioactive risks. It has not ensured that healthy drinking water is provided to all Indigenous. It is listening to the industrial interests that are asking for less regulation, and they are ignoring the problems caused by tar sands, toxic substances that are entering the waterways that are part of the daily lives of many Indigenous communities who are now suffering from serious cancers. It is high time for Canada to wake up.
The honourable member from Barrie-Innisfil.
I rise today to pay tribute to Helen Horodinsky, who passed away March 13th at the age.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. It is probably about 15 minutes away from the start question period. So this is the statements portion of Parliament where members can get up and make whatever statements they want. Today should be an exciting period, question period. Pierre Poilievre has announced earlier in an earlier session of Parliament today that he will be standing up in the private members section of Parliament, which should happen around 2:30 Pacific time and about 5:30 Eastern Standard Time to enter a motion of non-confidence that should trigger a vote where the Parliament will vote on non-confidence. If they're successful, that would lead, if they're successful, to a dissolution of Parliament, which would force an election. So this is leading up to, or shaping up to be, a very exciting day in Parliament, if this stuff kind of thing excites you. So let's go live to Parliament, see what these people are making statements about, and see what happens when Pierre Poilievre finally makes his motion of non-confidence.
Period of great sacrifice affecting all 11 million people. But Greece, valuable NATO ally. Greece has made it back stronger than ever. The Economist has rated Greece as #1 among developed countries on economic performance for both 2022 and 2023. Vive le Canada, long live Greece, zito 25 Martiu 1821.
The honourable member from Kingston and the Islands.
Mr. Transgender Day of Visibility is an annual event occurring on March 31st dedicated to celebrating transgender people and raising awareness of the discrimination faced by trans.
Looks like we're having a bit of problems with the feed from Parliament. Wondering what's going on here. Buffeting.
Reconciliation with God and humanity, between God and us. But it's up to each one of us by faith to
windows and storefronts throughout the city, reminding us that love, acceptance, and respect are fundamental to a healthy society. Using the Instagram handle Slow and Intentional, it is evident that Hill is making a slow and intentional impact on the hearts and minds of everyone in our community and beyond. Thank you, Hill. You are right. Hate has no home here.
The honourable member from Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek.
17 months of investigating a Arrive scam, and the Liberals have been forced to face the mess of corruption they've created. First, they said there's nothing to see here and voted against the Auditor General's investigation. Then they said it was a one-off, would never happen again. Yesterday revealed that 3 subcontractors have fraudulently billed 36 government departments $5 million from 2018 to 2022. And this is just the first wave. Without the scrutiny brought on by Conservatives, the Liberals would have happily kept Canadians in the dark. With even more companies being investigated, it is obvious that this is a government-wide issue, and the rot starts at the top. The merry-go-round of incompetent ministers has led to untold millions of stolen taxpayers' dollars. The Prime Minister is not worth the cost or the corruption. It's time for a government that respects Canadians. It's time to call an election.
L'honorable député d'Orléans.
The Honourable Member for Orléans. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform you that the Minister of National Defence tabled Bill C-66 this morning in order to modernize the military justice system. This bill seeks to implement 9 recommendations from the report by Justices Arbour and Fish. Importantly, we will remove jurisdiction from the military justice system when it comes to sexual offenses committed in Canada. It will also increase the independence of principal stakeholders and create a victim liaisons officer in order to support victims. Mr. Speaker, this is an important step in changing the culture in the Canadian Armed Forces sustainably. I hope this House will recognize the importance of the bill and will help it become law as quickly as
The honourable member from Calgary Centre.
Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this costly Liberal government, Canadians are suffering. The carbon tax has driven up the cost of everything, forcing millions of people to line up outside food banks, while families have to choose between heating their homes and feeding their families. The Prime Minister's own parliamentary budget officer says the average Alberta family will pay $2,943 in carbon taxes. The rebates only equal to $2,032, and that means that the Prime Minister's carbon tax scheme costs Alberta families $911 per 7 premiers, and 70% of Canadians are opposed to the Prime Minister's carbon tax hike on April 1st. It's not too late for the Liberal and NDP members in this House to listen to their constituents and join us in telling the Prime Minister his carbon tax does
Looks like they're having trouble with their feed. Okay, so normally the question period starts with a portion of the statements. So I'm wondering what is happening here. I'm going to cut this feed. I have to try and figure out how to bring up the comments as well. So we're going to cut this and start screaming again in just a moment.